It's another beautiful day right here, and we are excited to come on your way again with Outnumbered on Oweleketv. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Ramsey.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Ramsey. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Michael.
It was a very wonderful weekend. Of course, I know all of you are itching to know what's going to be happening from the other sport much later, but then let me just say, all attention on Outnumbered right now. Let's forget about the Super Eagles, who were not really super enough. Rachel and Michael, well, maybe you'll be on sports today, the both of you.
Funny.
All right, let's quickly bring you to speed with the headlines that we have for today. And the first headline will be the Punch newspaper. And from the Punch above the header, we have some headlines. And the first headline said, policemen not permitted to search citizens' phones. Lagos CP is the one saying that, and the details you can get on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. Well, this is one habit that a lot of people are already conversant with, and it's part of the reason why the protests to end SARS actually came up the other time. Then, still above the header, we have this one saying, Tinubu's trip gulped 3.4 billion naira in 6 months. This one is coming from the government spending details that came up, and the details of this you can get on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Then below the header, we have this story which is so big. This sounds like a good news to me. That's what I feel. And it says 7 major marketers get approval to sell Dangote fuel. And we have 2 riders to that story. The first rider says NNPC Retail Total, MRS, others make list await commercial terms. Then the second rider to that story said, Ipman, Petron to meet Dangote refinery this week. Marketing deals. Let's see how that is actually gonna go. And finally, from the Punch newspaper this morning on page 5, and you have this one which says ex-minister's friend offers to pay 50 million naira for adopted Abuja girls. You can get the details of that from the Punch newspaper, and that's the much I will be taking from the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's move to the next paper.
Yeah, the next paper is the Guardian newspaper, and the big story on the Guardian newspaper has a focus more on the Southeast state, as the big story has it that 10 trillion naira legacy industries rot away amid low earnings, unemployment. And still, writers on that story says President Tinubu stop corruption before it kills Nigeria. And it also says, I spent 500 million defending my election, says Abia federal lawmaker. That all of that contains on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper, which focus on the southeast state of Nigeria. Still on the Guardian newspaper, says 2027 polls, no consensus yet on candidate as PDP, Labour Party, NNPP's major talks thickens. Of course, there are still conversations around the merging of the 3 opposition party, Labour Party, PDP, and NNPP. That you can actually find on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. Still on the Guardian newspaper this morning says, Serap asks Abbas to slash serving 344.85 billion National Assembly budget. You can actually find that on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. These and many more stories are top contending on the Guardian newspaper. You can actually ask your vendor so you can get more details and reactions and opinion on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Over to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning once again, viewers, and Happy New Week. On Daily Trust newspaper this morning, the big story here says, Bandits hold 5 sisters after killing 1 in Abuja. Demands 100 million naira. Pantami's friend raises 50 million naira. Still on that story, 4 other captives killed in Kaduna. Ilorin Union urges federal government to rescue abductees. We've intensified rescue operations, says police. You can find that on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Still on Daily Trust this morning, airlines trapped funds. Pressure mounts despite $61 million release. And the last story I'll be taking here this morning says FCT primary school teachers begin strike today. You can find that on page 29 of the Daily Trust newspaper.
All right, quickly, let's bring you to speed with the next paper, which is going to be the Nation's newspaper. And from the Nation's newspaper this morning, we have a big story, which I'm going to be taking first. And the big story says, Supreme Court verdict, APC didn't trade off Kanu and Plateau State. Then we have some riders to that story. And the first rider says it's purely a legal matter. The second rider said victorious governors hail Tinubu's non-interference. Well, I don't know. But then that's what we have on paper. And moving away from there, I have this big story again, well, which says government to change approach on discourse funding. Discuss electricity matter, electricity wahala. We have just one rider to that story, and the rider says electricity distributors fail to pay dividends in 12 years. So where did the money go to? How comes they were quiet for 12 years? Okay, you can get the details of that from the Nation's newspaper. Then another headline here says a president gets kudos for anti-graft moves. Just two riders to that story. The first rider says, Ohaneze youths, Metu Oke's action. Then the second rider says, don't give better edu, media trial. Well, media trial? Maybe you can get the details of that by perusing through the Nation's newspaper, and you can actually walk to the paper stand, speak with your vendors, and pick a copy of this so that you can get more details from the headline. This is going to be the size of the headlines for this morning. We want to go on a quick break. After this break, we will return back again, and it's going to be the big story. When I say big story on at number, you know what I'm talking about. As usual, we're hitting you big this morning with a story. We will be back after this break. Still, Ramsey, Rachel, and Michael. Don't go nowhere.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleket.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It is still outnumbered live on your screen with Ramsey, Rachel, and Michael. We brought you the first headline, and now we want to go into the big story now. You know what? This is Nigeria. First and foremost, I would like to say congratulations to everyone that has made it to this time, coming through all the hurdles. It is a new year and something good will be happening. And this is one of the good things that we are expecting. 7 major marketers to get approval to sell Dangote fuel. Over the weekend, we heard that the refinery is ready to produce and they were waiting for approval from NNPC. And this morning, we are hearing that probably the approval has been given. And what is left is for it to be given to marketers who are going to market to the users. I think this is a good one because in the first instance, let's look at it from the angle of the government not being able. For over the years, we all know that we've been taking our crude oil, refined, and sent to us. Okay? We have this oil, and we don't have the refineries to refine them. This has cost Nigerians so much until now that Dangote refinery is up. We're waiting. The federal government promised us, this administration promised us on assumption of office that Port Harcourt refinery was going to start working by December. December, they came up again that, well, some equipment that are needed are not there, according to what we heard. And spare parts are not complete yet, and it is not functioning. We're talking about a nation. We're talking about a country here. This is what a country cannot do. We have refineries in Kaduna State, we have in Warri, and we also have in Port Harcourt. But then, The question we are asking this morning is, what is that an individual has done that the government couldn't do? What is it? Is it that they never made it a priority? If you ask me, I will say the government have not made this a priority, and probably because some elites of the elite are benefiting from this. That's the reason they've given a deaf ear to these refineries come up. But then, Dangote has done it. Even though we know some persons, some shareholders might be part of the process. This is a fresh refinery that was built from a crash. From the crash it was built, and now it's up for operation. How much more refineries that are already existing? Just put it in place, get some equipment and get it to work. And we don't have that. We pray and we wish that this will ease the pain of the average Nigerians who have been facing high cost of transportation as a result of fuel hike. Well, at this point in time, I'll let my colleagues in the studio add their voice to the conversation, because this is a serious issue as it were. All right, Rachel, let's look at it from this angle. Do you think just seven marketers will be able to serve all the country? Is it possible? And you feel this is going to at least quench to an extent the thirst, the suffering, the hunger of the people as it has to do with fuel? You know one thing, the moment there is a hike in the price of fuel, it affects almost everything. Yeah. The ripple effect comes to the food stuff, and almost everything in this country. So what do you think? Is this a welcome development?
Okay, so first of all, I think we Nigerians having Dangote refinery, is a welcome idea. First. We should give it to them. We should give that kudos to Dangote. It's a welcome idea. 7 marketers, we know it cannot sustain. We have 36 states in Nigeria, plus the Federal Capital Territory. So, but for a start, I think, yes, it's a welcome development. And reading through the papers, I saw that experts said this commencement of Dangote refinery could influence a 15% price reduction of PMS.
That's fine.
And so it's in fact, because like you said, this fuel price, the hike in fuel price, has affected everything from transportation to feeding to everything in the market. Because when you want to buy things, the first thing you hear is fuel don't cost. Because of course it is they use lorries, trailers, and all of that to transport this foodstuff from one state to another state, into different parts of the country. And so when there's hike in the price of fuel, it will definitely affect everything. And so yes, us having this 15% reduction is a welcome idea. The only prayer is I hope they stick to this promise. I hope they stick to these plans and everything. Another thing I want to point out is the unemployment rate that might just increase because of Dangote's refinery that has commenced. Although we had rumors that Dangote refinery, he was bringing in foreigners, Indians, people from India and different countries to come and work in the refinery, and then he came out to debunk it, say no, nothing like that. I hope that this commencement is going to really bring the good news that Nigerians are expecting. Talk about employment, talk about reduction in, prices of everything in Nigeria. I just pray that everything works according to plan. If it works according to plan, then why not? It's a welcome idea and it will be good for everybody.
I think I like that. It's a welcome idea and it's going to be good for everybody, because 15% reduction in the price of fuel, it will go a long way. You need to see how people beg at the park so they can at least get to their workplaces. All right, let me get to Michael. Michael, this is what the government couldn't do over the years. We have refineries in Kaduna State, Warri, Delta State, and we also have in Port Harcourt, River State. We were promised that these refineries were going to start working, but then one complaint or the other, one excuse or the other. Nigerians are getting used to these excuses already. But then, what would you have to say? Is it that the government is just, would you want to say the government is just being insensitive to the plight of the people, or there are some cabals still behind this? Because remember what the president told us when he came into office, that there are elites of elites, okay, who are benefiting from fuel subsidy, and it's part of the reason he's removing it. And one of the things that would have cushioned the effect of the subsidy remover is bringing our refineries up. Okay, so it could work. So what do you think about this? Is there something happening somewhere? Because Dangote has done it. The government couldn't do it.
Yeah, first I will still have to congratulate Dangote. I think if we have about 5 of Dangote in the country, we will definitely get better in our economy. Because as you already see, the government are already failing the people. Government of promises of APCs have kept Nigeria for the past 8, now getting to 9 years to where we are. And it's worrisome because government are not taking their responsibility, their core responsibilities to action. And Dangote has spent over, say, about $19 billion, in building this refinery. And you understand that there are some implications to this. It means that he has to pay back the loan he has gotten. He has to settle the contractors, the foreign contractors who came in to build
the
expatriates and all of that. So it means that we might not, for the next, let's say, 1 or 2 months, might not actually get the real price of oil really, really, really down low for people to be able to afford. But it's when government actually would have come in. Where was government, in providing loan to support Dangote? He has been doing this thing alone.
The same government that are still borrowing from
outside the country.
But look at the writing that they would have actually borrowed to partner with.
Yes, capital project.
This is a capital project. That they would have, if they could not do it, because that's the problem of Nigeria. Government cannot do things. It's high time that even the refineries that we have in Port Harcourt, Warri, and all of that, they should leave it to the private hands that can be serious and fix. They borrow this money, give to these guys will be able to fix it. Because in government, you want to give anybody a contract to fix the Warri refinery, Ramsey, you'll be wept about the money and the funds that will be siphoned in the process of trying to fix the refinery. So Dangote on his own has done this. And also, the marketers are also the problem. Do you know the cabals when they say marketers, do you feel is people that load yam from Yabu to Benue or taking Benue to Akwa Ibom? No! They are cabals of marketers. And now these guys, they will sit up because they also want to make money in the result of trying to circulate this product that Dangote has done for Nigeria.
One of the writers to the story talked about Ipman Petron to meet Dangote refinery this week. That's marketing deals. That's
the point we are trying to make. They will go and meet Dangote. It's a welcome development. You know why? When they are bringing their product from outside the country, they had their way of trying to. They keep the prices high. They tell you it's not easy to bring the product from there to here. Now that the product is in Lagos, Ijebu is not far. So people can easily walk in. If you have the funds to go and buy the product, take your truck, go there and buy. So they will start to go and make things difficult. They will go and tell Dangote, this is what you have to do, this is what you do, so that the system can be tightened. And many people will not be able to also buy and circulate and where the product can actually get. So their marketers are also the problem. We should also look, Nigerians should also open their eyes and look at these marketers and call them when they want to make the prices difficult for Nigerians to buy.
All right. Marketers are also part of the problem and they should be called to order. And that's true because we know what happened in some of the civil service. When someone is coming to the office, a PAMSEC is coming to the office, they will tell him, this is how it's been done. Well, in conclusion, like we've said already, let me just speak to Dangote himself straight up. You don't have to allow yourself to be influenced by anyone, not the marketers, because already you've done a good thing and Nigerians have given you kudos. Let the impact be felt down to the grassroots so that you don't allow anyone influence you. Thank you very much for being part of Outnumbered today. This is going to be the size of Outnumbered. You can always get to the comment section. If you've not liked this page before, like it, subscribe to it. Yeah, subscribe to it, put up the notification button so that you will be the first person to get details of everything happening from Oweleketv. It's been Ramsey, Rachel, and Michael. Have a beautiful day and have a fruitful week. Bye-bye for now.